In my neighborhood, there is the Preeclampsia Foundation. What is that? If you've had preeclampsia, you're probably sitting at the edge of your chair. Wait a minute, there's a foundation. If you haven't, you may want to hear about it. I want to welcome my guest joining me today, Eleni Tsigas, who is here, CEO of the Preeclampsia Foundation. Bekah Bischoff is here, patient family partner training coordinator. Let's just start with what is preeclampsia.
The most obvious indication is that mom's blood pressure starts to go up. And this is even in women who didn't previously have high blood pressure. So mom's blood pressure goes up, and then what she tends to not recognize as much is that organs start to fail. So kidneys don't work the way they're supposed to, liver, lungs, there's effect on the brain. There's a lot of organ dysfunction that can happen as a result of preeclampsia. But then on the baby side of it, some babies can have their growth restricted. They're basically not getting the nutrition that they need because of this preeclampsia.
Okay, so when do you know you have preeclampsia? I ask that because it sounds like when there's trouble, then we start seeing mom go through the effects. But has baby been affected the entire time, even before mom had any warnings?
Sometimes. I mean, this is one of the big conundrums about preeclampsia, is because it presents differently in different people, and in some pregnancies, the baby's not affected at all. In my own pregnancy, my first baby died as a result of this. My second baby had growth restriction as a result of it. Bekah's had preeclampsia and variations of it, and your babies came early.
So did either one of you know? Well, we'll start with you, Bekah. Did you know you had it? Did they say you had it and they watched you, or was it just,
Yeah, and it's such a great question, and this is one of the hardest parts as a patient, is being diagnosed with it, because so many of the symptoms of preeclampsia mirror those normal pregnancy symptoms. Like, I'm tired all the time.
Yeah, you're going to be tired for the next 18 years.
Yeah, exactly. Having headaches, having, really excessive heartburn, just normal things. But I knew with my second pregnancy that...
Because you had had it with your first.
Well, my story is a little interesting. With my first child, my daughter, I had preeclampsia, but I was put on bed rest, and she was delivered, and it was really just like no big deal. Like, there was no information or really any cause for alarm. In fact, I didn't really feel that unwell when I was put on bed rest. And so when I got pregnant again, I noticed about halfway through my pregnancy that this one was very different. And I started having excessive fatigue and excessive, headaches and heartburn, and
you even had the visual disturbances.
I did. I had where I was seeing stars.
Did you know at that time, though, that it was preeclampsia?
I didn't, and I was sharing with my providers that I just didn't feel well, but my symptoms mirrored normal pregnancy symptoms, and so there wasn't really any investigating until very late in my pregnancy.
But it brings, I am like, you must advocate for yourself on all health things. So my question is, if they knew you had preeclampsia before, would that not have been like #1 flag, somebody jumping up and down waving that thing?
You said it. Yeah,
okay.
And honestly, I did not learn this until years after my son Henry was born. He's almost 10 years old, but it would have been wise for me to have been followed by maternal fetal medicine, since I'd had preeclampsia before.
So that, you all have been through this, so your heart is in it.
Yep.
And you want women to know. What's the first thing you want them to know? Because I would have, I'm done having kids, but even with my 3, I would have no idea unless someone caught it.
Right. Well, I think there are different stages of what you need to know. If you are in your childbearing years, you absolutely need to know the signs and symptoms of preeclampsia. Again, not to be fearful and sort of alarmist through pregnancy.
To be prepared.
To be prepared. Knowledge is power.
Yes.
And so that's really the call to action here is you should have an awareness of signs and symptoms that should bring you to your healthcare provider with your concerns. And they, in turn, need to listen and investigate and follow through. The second sort of call to action is if you've been through this, you're not alone. The other call to action is if you have experienced this, come out of that cave that you're living in and know that there are other women and families who have experienced this, and there is strength in coming together and telling your story and validating your experiences and then doing something with your experience. And that's where Bekah is just like my hero, because she's taken her experience and said, how can I help other women tell their narrative, tell their story in a way that's going to make a difference? And we do that at the foundation through not only preparing them to tell their story, but then getting involved in research, getting involved in community building activities.
The Preeclampsia Foundation has a project that's called Mama's Voices, and it works to equip those with lived experience, which is what we went through. We have a lived experience from preeclampsia, and we train our advocates. We train for them to learn not only how to share their story, but how to heal from their experience. And so we offer an online training program for survivors of preeclampsia to learn about birth trauma, to learn about all the different things that you need to heal. And my passion in all of this is to help the mothers who don't feel like they have a story, because that was me. I did not share my story until my son Henry was almost 4 years old. And so I lived in that isolation of feeling like nobody else around me understood what I had just gone through. And so I suffered in silence, and I don't want any mother to have to go through that.
Can I just say yay to you both for doing that? Every experience, every person, and everything that they do always need to be heard. Yep. And for those of us that can, we need to learn.
Yep.
Again, the Preeclampsia Foundation website again?
Preeclampsia.org.
All right.
Super easy.
Super
Just make sure you get 2 E's in there.
And then Mama's Voices?
Yes.
MoMMAsVoices.org, which you can get to either directly or through our website.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
For putting the work together and getting it done. Appreciate you so very much. All right, stay with us. We'll come back with more.